Coming up on The Bottom Line, county firefighters go pink for a good cause. We'll get some FaceTime with a rising leader here in Montgomery County, and we'll tell you about one remarkable young woman whose service project brought hope to a group of residents. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. Real men do wear pink. In support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Montgomery County firefighters are sporting pink. They are taking part in their annual fundraiser for breast cancer research and, at the same time, making a difference in their community. Members of Montgomery County's Fire and Rescue Services are on a different mission of sorts this month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the fire department is raising money for cancer research and making an impact for the cause by wearing pink. Master firefighter Doug Wallace is leading the effort this year.
More flashy.
His mother is a breast cancer survivor. Once you guys started wearing the pink, it came out that there were so many of you that had been touched by this.
Our department is 1,200 uniformed firefighters, and everybody, it didn't matter who we talked to, everybody who wanted to participate. If it wasn't a family member who had been affected, it was a close friend of theirs, and it just really made sense for us to really push the International's initiative to do it here in Montgomery County.
This year's hot pink shirts are attracting a lot of attention. Even though it's not a color most of the firefighters would choose to wear, Wallace says they tough it out for this worthwhile cause.
As soon as we put the pink on, whether we're outside washing the fire trucks, people are going by blowing the horn, giving us the thumbs up, or it just so happens October is also Fire Prevention Month, so we're in and out of the schools, and it's kind of neat to see the little kids pick up on it, of what we're doing, and they say, you know, my grandmother had breast cancer, but the vibrant pink that we wear, the people definitely notice.
This year's campaign has raised $12,000 that will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation and the Red Devils charity, a Maryland-based organization whose mission it is to help Maryland breast cancer patients and their families. This is the third year for the Think Pink campaign, and Wallace says it's something the department looks forward to each October.
It doesn't take much to make us happy, so to be able to not put on the uniform shirt that we're used to and to wear a t-shirt or a sweatshirt that's approved by the fire chief, the guys look forward to it. It sends a message that we want to send out, and they let the people know who are actually fighting the disease that we're with them. You know, they're not alone. You know, we're putting the shirts on, trying to help them. It's
sometimes called K2 or spice, but now a new state law will criminalize the possession of these illegal drugs. While synthetic marijuana was illegal under federal law, it only went so far. Now with this new state law, Montgomery County Police say they are going to do all they can to stop the sale of this dangerous substance. Starting October 1st, this drug, which also goes by the name Spice and K2, will become illegal, something the Eichler family of Montgomery County will be grateful for. They lost their 22-year-old son, Charlie, just 2 months ago after being ravaged by the drug.
Over time, very short time actually, about a month, he went from someone who was struggling with addiction to someone who was struggling to stay alive. He couldn't feel his feet, fingers anymore, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and basically just gave up.
I heard really for the first time. I'd never heard much about these substances before.
Councilmember George Leventhal was joined by the Eichler family and other officials to let local merchants know that these products they have been selling will now bring criminal charges if sold at their establishments.
These are not benign and harmless substances. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what the dosage is. You don't know precisely what chemicals have been used, and the effects can be very significant. I first heard about it from our Montgomery County Coalition for the Homeless, where some of the clients at the Goody Men's Shelter were obstreperous and aggressive and unmanageable, and so it has behavioral effects that are unpredictable. It has health effects.
The distribution of this drug becomes a crime tomorrow. But perhaps more importantly for us today, they pose a health hazard to all of our children. These designer drugs are 5 to 45 times more potent than marijuana. This is modern day glue sniffing.
Charlie Eichler's family did not know anything about synthetic marijuana. Charlie was a recovering heroin addict who was using the substance to dull withdrawal symptoms from methadone. He told his parents it was a natural substance. Stephen, Charlie's younger brother, wants to make it his mission to educate others about the dangers of this substance.
These kids will destroy their lives unintentionally with synthetic marijuana, and I want to make sure that they know the consequences are deadly.
With the new law, possession of the drug is a misdemeanor that could result in a 4-year prison sentence. And if you are caught distributing it, you could face 20 years in jail. The mission of the Montgomery County Recreation Department is to provide high-quality, diverse, and accessible programs with the goal of enhancing the quality of life for all ages. The man behind the agency is Gabe Albornoz, and recently we got some FaceTime with him and learned how he is advancing that mission. So this says Office of the Director, Gabe, and you were named Director of the Department of Recreation back in 2007 at the age of 30.
That's right.
And that is the youngest appointment for anybody here in Montgomery County at the cabinet level. Talk a little bit about how you felt coming into this job at such a young age.
Well, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous at first. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I went from managing an office of 15 people to managing a department of over 3,000. So it was a little overwhelming at first, but I've got to say, within the first day of meeting the staff here, everybody was just so warm and inviting that it really helped ease the transition.
Hit! In Montgomery County, we're now a minority-majority county, as you know, and I'm sure that's affected how you set up your programs, how you run your work program, and make these programs available to folks. And we also have folks who are in need. How do we make these types of services available for these people?
It's not easy, but what we are trying to do is leverage the resources we have in the county through partnerships. And I'm proud to say that we've been able to forge a number of quality partnerships with community-based organizations, nonprofits, hospitals, that have really allowed us to expand our programming base, even despite these fiscal challenges, to try at least and meet the demands and interests of our county residents.
I'm noticing these beautiful pictures here on your desk of your family. You have 3 children, and they're all pretty small. Tell us a little bit about who we see here.
So my oldest is Alicia. She's 5, and she has just started kindergarten this year, and we're very proud of her. She's doing an outstanding job. And then my son Paul is 3 years old and just started nursery school, and he's also a fantastic student and is just a great kid. And our 4-month-old baby, his name is Mateo, and my wife Catherine and I are just so proud of them. They are fantastic kids. We're blessed with 3 remarkable children. I love my family more than anything else in this world.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you were born and raised here in Montgomery County, graduated from Whitman.
That's right.
And did you play basketball?
I did. I played soccer and basketball at Whitman. So we were state champions my senior year in soccer, and I had a fantastic experience through Montgomery County Public Schools.
And you still play basketball today?
I try to. I play here and there. I've had a couple of knee injuries, but I play a lot with my kids now, and what I've got left in the tank I'm trying to save for them.
But the most recent big event in your life happened at FedEx Field.
Well, the NFL and all 32 teams are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
And the Redskins, or the NFL, I should say, recognized you. Talk a little bit about that award and what that means to you.
Well, I was really humbled. I found out a couple months ago that the Hispanic Heritage Foundation had nominated me for an award through the National Football League for Hispanic Heritage Month. And so I was given the Hispanic Leadership Award here for Washington, D.C. area, but I was also given the National Award, which was presented at the Kennedy Center. And so it was just humbling because I accepted the award on behalf of all of my colleagues and public servants in county government, but also the youth workers that are out there that are working so hard every day to help improve the lives and support the lives of our kids.
Ofrecemos programas de arte, también programas de baile.
Do you consider yourself a role model for young Latinos here in Montgomery County?
I certainly strive to be a role model. Our kids need role models, especially today, and so often our role models are professional athletes or folks in the media that are getting attention for all the wrong reasons. And so to the degree to which I can be a role model here locally within our own community, I take that very seriously, and it's an opportunity that I always try to take advantage of in engaging our students and participants and talking to them in a very real and one-on-one fashion to try to make things tangible for them. It's something that I do take very seriously.
When Christina Esposito was trying to come up with a project for her Girl Scout Golden Award, the answer ended up being right in front of her. As an employee at a local garden center, she decided she would plant a garden. But she went one step further and chose a place where people might not otherwise have the chance to experience gardening, and she found the benefits went far beyond the obvious.
This was your idea. This is your creation here,
Yes.
this garden.
In a small corner where the sun shines in this Rockville backyard is a plot filled with vegetables.
Are these carrots?
They are carrots.
And herbs.
And then basil, of course. There are
Basil.
so many recipes that you can use that.
The parsley.
That have been harvested numerous times.
And this is cucumber plant that has been harvested, and it's the end of the season.
This Garden of Hope is located at Betty's house in Rockville, a shelter for women who are survivors of domestic abuse and their children.
I got in contact with the National Center for Children and Families.
Whitman High School senior Christina Esposito started the project with the hope of instilling good nutritional habits.
I thought a garden would be a perfect way, very economical for the women. They don't have to spend as much money at the store, and it's just a great way to get outside, you know, interact with their kids a bit, interact with each other, and just think about something else, because they're obviously having stresses and struggles and trying to get back on their feet. So it's just something nice, it's a pleasant distraction, something healthy to do.
So, with the help of her mother and a neighbor who is a master gardener, Christina got to work in the early spring on this fresh opportunity for the women of Betty's house.
Haja actually loves the rosemary. She had never had it before.
Smells really good.
Yes.
Haja is one of the residents of the house. She spent much of her free time working in the garden with her young son and says the garden was a great source of joy for her over the summer.
I was so excited about it because where I grew up, we eat from our own garden. My grandma, you know, she planted her, you know, own garden. So whenever we're ready to eat, we just go and pick, you know, what we need, fruit, vegetables, and, you know, cook it. So I was so excited. It just remind me, you know, where I grew up.
And for Christina, the growth didn't only occur in the garden.
Before doing this project, I hadn't been exposed much to people in these situations, you know, in transitional housing. They've been previously abused. So this was very eye-opening to me and very interesting, you know, to see how similar they are in most ways. But obviously they have their differences, they have their struggles, and it was very exciting that we could all connect over gardening.
These are the hot peppers?
Yes,
Yeah.
those are the hot peppers.
Do you like the
Yeah.
hot peppers?
Oh yeah, I do.
Towards the end of the growing season, the women gathered up all the vegetables and herbs that they could from the garden and sat down to a home-cooked meal together.
We were actually lucky enough to find an evening that we all came together. We had planned a menu and we used the food from the garden and we had a meal together, which was very exciting. And we all sat down and enjoyed it, and knowing that most of it was from something that they had done was very rewarding for them and for us, and it tasted very good.
Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of The Bottom Line, but we leave you this week with our Montgomery moment, some seniors enjoying the English sport of lawn bowling. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.